What if everything you believed about your family was a lie? I was 18 when I stood on the creaking porch of a house I'd never seen, staring at two strangers who claimed to be my grandparents. Their eyes, heavy with years of unspoken pain, held a secret that would unravel the story of my life. My name is Lila, and this is how I learned the truth my father buried. Growing up, I knew little about my family beyond the walls of our small apartment. Dad was a quiet man, his smiles rare but warm, always deflecting questions about his past. "It's just us, Lila," he'd say, ruffling my hair. "That's all you need." I trusted him. Why wouldn't I? He was my anchor, the one who taught me to ride a bike, who stayed up late helping with math homework. But there were gaps, questions he dodged, photos he never showed, and a family history that felt like a locked door. On my 18th birthday, a letter arrived, handwritten in shaky cursive. It was from my grandparents, people Dad claimed were long gone. "We need to see you, Lila," it read. "There are things you must know." My heart raced. Dad had lied. I hid the letter, my mind spinning, but curiosity gnawed at me. Against his warnings, I found their address and drove 3 hours to a weathered house in the countryside. The door opened to a couple in their 70s, their faces etched with regret. "You look just like her," Grandma whispered, her voice trembling. I frowned, confused. "Like who?" That's when they sat me down, their hands clasped tightly, and told me about my mother. Dad always said Mom died when I was a baby, a car accident that left no room for questions. I'd grown up with a vague ache for a woman I never knew, picturing her from a single faded photo Dad kept. But my grandparents' story was different. My mother, Anna, didn't die in a crash. She left. She left because Dad wasn't the man he seemed. Anna was their only child, bright and fiercely independent. She met Dad in college, and they fell hard for each other. But as years passed, Dad changed. He grew controlling, secretive, isolating Anna from her family. He told her we didn't approve of her, Grandpa said, his voice cracking. He cut us out of her life. When Anna got pregnant with me, she tried to reconnect with her parents, desperate for support. But Dad forbade it, spinning lies that they hated her, that they'd never accept me. The truth hit like a tidal wave. Anna didn't die, she ran away. Unable to bear Dad's control, she fled when I was 2, leaving me behind in hopes of finding a way to build a better life for us both. She planned to come back for me, but Dad moved us across the state, changed our names, and erased her existence. My grandparents searched for years, but Dad's lies were airtight. Anna, broken by guilt and loss, passed away when I was 10, alone, still believing her parents had rejected her. I sat there, numb, as Grandma handed me a box of Anna's things, letters, photos, a locket with my baby picture inside. Each item was a piece of a mother I'd never known, a woman who loved me fiercely but was torn away by my father's deception. "Why didn't you find me sooner?" I whispered, tears burning my eyes. They explained how Dad's stories kept them at bay, how they only found me after hiring a private investigator. The weight of their grief mirrored my own. Driving home, my mind was a storm. The man who raised me, who I loved, had built our life on a lie. When I confronted him, his face crumpled. "I did it to protect you," he said, voice hoarse. "Anna was unstable, Lila. She would have hurt you." But his words felt hollow, a desperate attempt to justify a betrayal that stole my mother from me. I saw the fear in his eyes, not of losing me, but of facing the truth. In the weeks that followed, I wrestled with anger and love, torn between the father I knew and the man who'd lied. I kept in touch with my grandparents, their stories of Anna filling the hole in my heart. She loved painting, they said, and I realized where my own sketches came from. She laughed loudly, unafraid, and I saw her spirit in my own stubborn streak. Forgiving Dad was the hardest part. I wanted to hate him, but I couldn't erase the years of his quiet sacrifices, late nights working to keep us afloat, the way he'd cheer at my school plays. He was flawed, human, and wrong, but he was still my father. I told him I needed time, and he nodded, tears redoubled. System, tears in his eyes. "I'll give you time, Lila," he said softly, and I left, carrying the weight of truth and the hope of healing. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it builds a bridge to the future. I began writing letters to my grandparents, sharing pieces of my life, and they responded with stories of Anna, her dreams, her laughter, her love for me. The locket rests against my heart now, a reminder that truth, however painful, sets you free. My family's story isn't perfect, but it's ours, and I'm learning to carry it with grace.